All right, so Chris, what was easy about giving the survey?
It was easy sending the emails in mass quantities so that we could get the most diverse results for our survey.
Yeah, I also thought that it was really easy because we could use our phones and we could send them out as much as we can, like as many times as we wanted, which was really, really easy. So, something that I found really difficult was giving the surveys to different age groups because I sent the survey to my grandma and I was like, click the blue text, like click the link below. She didn't know how to do that. Like that was what was really hard about it. And also like for like the younger kids, like I tried doing it for my cousin and he's like 6. He didn't know what was going on.
Were your results consistent with your classmates?
Yeah, my results were both consistent and different when compared to our classmates. So, an example of the time that my results were consistent with the results of my classmates was when the majority of the people that took my survey classified themselves as Christians, as well as the majority of my classmates' responses to their surveys.
Yeah, I also found these results to be the same as most of the people that took my survey classified themselves as Christians.
A time that my results differed from the results of my classmates was when I was recording their political views. All of the results of the political views differed from one another, and not only my results, but the rest of my classmates' results as well.
My results differed from the results of my classmates due to the fact that most of the people who took my survey stated that they were Republicans, while the results from my classmates differed from one another.
Another time that my results were consistent with the results of my classmates was when I was recording the number of Jewish people that they knew. The average of my results for this was 10 Jewish people, as well as the rest of my classmates' results.
My results were also parallel with the results of my classmates because the average number of Jewish people that they knew was 10, along with the average number of the class.
Another time that my results differed from the results of my classmates was when I was recording the number of Muslim people that they knew. The majority of my responses were that they knew more than 6 Muslims, while the majority of the class's responses were that they only knew 1 to 5 Muslims.
My results also differed from the class's results due to the fact that all the people that took my survey knew more than 6 Muslims, while the majority of the class's results stated that they knew less than 5 Muslims.
One of the most consistent results that I had when compared to the results of my classmates was when I was recording the views of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Roughly 90% of the responses that I received was that they believe that there is roughly equal fault and responsibility on each side. When comparing my results to the results of my classmates, almost every single result provided stated that they believed that there is roughly equal fault and responsibility on each side from the Israelis and the Palestinians.
My results also could be compared to the class's results because most of the results that I received were that they believed that there was roughly an equal fault for the Israelis and the Palestinians.
On the other hand, the time where my results differed the most from the results of my classmates was when I was recording the results of when people see the Israel Palestine conflict covered in the media. And which do they believe the media favors? My results varied from having, quote, no strong opinion to, quote, other, to, quote, coverage being fair on both sides, to, quote, the coverage is favorable towards Palestine and biased against Israel, and, quote, the coverage is favorable towards Israel and biased against Palestine. The overall result of my classmates was that the people who took the survey had no strong opinion.
My results were consistent when compared to the results of my classmates due to the fact that most of the people that took my survey said that, quote, they do not have a strong opinion, making me wonder if the reason for this was because they weren't informed about what was going on in the Middle East.
Another time that my results were consistent with my classmates was when I was recording the results of their views on the future of the Israel-Palestine conflict. The majority of my results were that there is a possibility of peace, however, not in the near future. Correspondingly to my results, the majority of my classmates' results were that they think that there is a possibility of peace, however, not in the near future.
My results differed from your results along with the classmates' results due to the fact that the majority of the people who took my survey said that, quote, peace is not a realistic possibility, while the majority of my classmates' results were that they believe that the, quote, peace is a realistic possibility, however, not in the near future.
One of the most surprisingly contrasting results from my data compared to my classmates' data was when I was recording the results of how much they knew about the Israel-Palestine conflict on a scale of 1 to 10. Shockingly, almost 2/3 of the people who took my survey knew little to nothing about the conflicts going on in the Middle East. When compared to the results of the students in my class, the majority of the results provided were about a 5 out of 10. This leads me to the conclusion that most of the people have a concise understanding of the conflict that is going on in the Middle East. I thought that this was really cool because it showed me that the people that I gave the survey to did not know much about what is going on between Israelis and the Palestinians. This made me want to learn more about this conflict and what is going on so that I can inform these people about the problems that are going on in the Middle East today.
My results were different from your results, but consistent with the results of my classmates due to the fact that the majority of the people that took my survey knew about the conflict that is going on in the Middle East and ranked their knowledge at a ranking of above 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, which was consistent with the results of my classmates who stated that the people who took their survey knew about the conflict going on in the Middle East and ranked themselves at a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being that they knew nothing about the conflict and 10 being that they knew everything about the conflict.
The final time when my results were consistent with the results of my classmates was when I was recording the results of where people got their news from. The majority of the results from my survey were that they got their news from cable television channels, as well as the majority of the results from my classmates. I did notice that the people who got their news from the cable television channels were the people who did not think that the Israelis and the Palestinians were of equal fault to the conflicts going on in the Middle East. This led me to the conclusion that the news channels were being biased towards one side or the other.
My results also were consistent with both your results as well as my classmates' results due to the fact that the majority of my responses were that the people who took my survey got their news from cable TV channels, and so did the majority of the results from the people who took my classmates' survey.
Were the people who responded to your survey diverse enough to draw any conclusions? Are your results valid?
The people that responded to our group surveys were mostly Caucasian, so drawing an unbiased conclusion is unlikely. However, their political views are somewhat different, depending on what political group they're associated with, can affect their opinions on the Israel-Palestinian conflict. The amount of Jewish and Muslim people they know can also affect their opinion on the topic. If they knew more Muslim people and were closely associated with them, then most likely they would take their side. And if they knew more Jewish people, then it would be the same concept. Their knowledge of the topic is a major factor and can greatly affect their opinion and views. If they were more knowledgeable and took it on a religious side, then the results could vary. Most of the people that took the survey were Christian, so the survey results could be 50-50 on either side.
How do you think that the survey could be improved?
The survey itself doesn't need much improving, but some things could be added. One thing that could be added is if they are biased towards one side due to their religion. Another thing that could be added is if they have been affected by this conflict.